Fucking midgies. So on this episode, I've got a very special guest with me. My favourite so far. Not being biased. I love everyone else that I've interviewed, but I have got Farmer Dave.
Hey Reggie, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome to Reggie's F&Cs.
I've wanted to do this forever. It's so exciting that we're doing Reggie's F&Cs. And we talked about this in the house, that you would do this, and here you are doing it.
I know. How exciting is it?
Yeah, no, very, very cool. Love it. And what's the go with the merch, mate?
I know.
I love it.
Finally got some merch happening.
I love it. Very cool.
And
your catchphrase, bugger.
Bugger. Yeah,
Yes.
me bugger.
Whee!
Oh.
Coombabah Plaza Fish and Chips.
Thank you. And this is your famous local fish and chips.
Yeah, this is my local. They do really good potato cakes, Dave.
Potato cakes.
Potato cake or potato scallop? What's your...
That's just a scallop. That is just a scallop. Not a potato scallop, just a scallop.
No!
Yes.
It's potato cake.
It's a scallop.
It's a potato cake.
I mean, we're near the
Is it?
coast. We're near the coast, so you can call it a potato scallop. But where I come from, that's the only scallop you get. The thing that comes from the sea, we don't get none of them. That's a scallop.
No, it's scallops from the sea.
If you live near the sea, do you reckon you'd eat seafood where I come from?
Where are you from?
The bush.
Oh.
7 hours west base.
That's...
I only eat seafood
my
if I can see
goodness.
the sea.
Did you ever eat fish and chips in the bush?
So, well, it never came like this. Obviously, when I was a kid, always wrapped in newspaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we'd go on road trips, because you know, I'm one of 11 kids, right? So all the kids would be trucked in the back under a tarp in a ute. Mum and Dad would be in the front. We were all in the back under a tarp.
Under a tarp?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
God.
under a tarp, yeah.
Back in the day?
Back in the day when, I don't know if it was legal back then, but anyway, that's how my parents rolled. And we ended up getting a real nice canvas canopy, and we'd all be under there as we got a bit older. But yeah, whenever we'd go anywhere on big long trips, that was how my parents would feed us. Fish and chips in country towns or seaside would definitely be a whole big newspaper thing,
Yeah.
and just spread it out, and it was just the greatest feed ever.
Oh, I love fish and chips. You got to try the potato cakes.
I'm gonna give the scallop a go.
The potato cake.
With
Dave.
I'm fancy now, so I have lemon on it.
Oh.
Oh crikey, mate, it's got me in the eye.
That's a... Ha!
Eh?
Oh my God, I love their potato cakes. I love
So
them.
you know the bush scallops. So this is a scallop to me, but a bush scallop is actually a testicle. And
What?
yeah, true, right. So anyone that ever comes out and helps you with mustering, and then of course you do drafting, and then you do marking. Marking just means you cut the nuts out of the testicle sac. And,
Out of what?
The cattle or the sheep. Sheep usually you put a ring on it, but unless they're
Is that
real
why
big
they
or they're
call
gone bush,
Do they
then they've got to
actually
be cut them out.
Does it actually
So
have
they
a...
call them scallops, yeah, bush scallops. And then you cook it on the branding iron. You put them on there, and then you cook them. And then any city people that are there, you get them to eat it first because it's respect. And then they eat the testicle, and then you piss yourself laughing. And
Are you for real?
yeah, you feed everyone bush scallops.
No.
True story.
So it's a nut. Is
It's
that why
a-
they're called nuts?
it's a
You kicked
testicle.
me in the nuts
I suppose.
because there's nuts.
I suppose maybe.
Do you like the potato cake, Dave?
I love it, and
It's so nice.
the batter on it
Oh my God.
makes it feel like I don't need to eat for a few days.
Oh. It's like the Dagwood dog. How good was
How
the
good was the
dog?
Dagwood dog?
Oh my God.
That was so good.
That was so good at the show.
And then the fact that we walked 2 kilometres to get it,
it.
and then 2 kilometres back, meant that I didn't have the same thoughts I'm having right now about...
Oh.
Because this is the thing, right? Once we've got middle-aged spread, you eat it, or you even look at it, and suddenly, g'day.
It's there.
Whereas when we're younger, bloody nothing but skin and abs, and then now, you've got to think about these things.
Have you got any merch, Dave?
I do.
Oh, you
I
do?
Yeah. So I do. So one of my big shows, Superdog Spectacular, which is an arena spectacular show. We've got tons of merch, and I do this other thing called Canine Ninja challenge. You know, that Jimmy did on, what was it, Australia's Got Talent.
Ah.
So that's got a whole range of merch with dog show bags and stuff. And Doc Dogs has got jumpers and hats and everything. So all of my businesses, merch is where it's at, babe. So I'm loving that you're doing merch because people want to buy a piece of it.
Oh,
they see ya, they want to buy a piece of it, and if they can get it under $30, they're sold.
Yeah, that's the thing, eh?
Yeah.
To keep the price down.
Because the reality is for you, right? You can't work a normal job. You just
I
can't.
know, I haven't been...
Merch is what's going to work for you, and I'm going to buy a couple of these off you. Can you buy? Are they for sale yet?
Not yet. So what's your most successful piece of merch and why does it work?
You know what? You know my dog Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
Little Jimmy, one ear down, one ear up, little legs this short. Jimmy Teddies. So back before COVID, because everyone loves Jimmy, and he was the main star of the show. He was the rough track mascot. He was front and centre of everything. And because he had those little tiny legs but a normal body, he was just captivating. So before COVID, I ordered 10,000 likenesses. So him doing his little prance, the teddy had his little legs sitting there, his little hands up like this, his one ear up, same colour. You know, it took us about 2 years to really get it perfect. And then I'm like, yes, because I was working with this mob in southern China. And then 2 months of design backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
And then anyway, so I ordered 10,000.
That's
these
a lot.
bloody teddies. Yeah. And then COVID hit.
Oh no.
So I was like, I've got 10,000. So I've got these boxes and boxes. Half my house was full of boxes and boxes of Jimmy toys.
Oh
and I'm
no.
like, what do we bloody do? So I just donated them to Rough Track, and then they were our main fundraiser. And that's how I pretty much got Rough Track and fed all the kids and were able to do stuff with the kids by selling these jolly Jimmy toys.
Really?
Yeah, so me dog stuffed was the most successful thing. 10,000 of the buggers, and now
10,000.
now people still bring them along to shows. I was doing a show at Sydney Olympic Park last week, Dog Lovers Festival, and 4 people came up and had their Jimmy toy. And,
that's
I think
sweet.
the last one I would have sold 12 months ago. But still, people just love them. They've travelled around. People send me photos of Jimmy at the Eiffel Tower, at the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I've had one at the Golden Gate Bridge sitting on... People just send me pictures of Jimmy all around the world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that worked for you?
Absolutely. Stuffed toys,
Oh,
mate.
wow. What would mine be? Stuffed.
These.
Oh,
This is the key.
Just stubby coolers. I don't know what kind of toy. Oh, look, I won't go down that path and I'll know what I was going to say. You're just recently up here from doing the Doc Dogs at the Gold Coast show.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
I'm glad that I got you in there.
It was so good and it was so fascinating to see all the setup and how you work with the dogs and people coming in for the competition. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, isn't it? Like, I've been telling you about Doc Dogs forever, I
couldn't get my head around it, and I even had to ask you, Doctor, and you were trying to explain to me how it works. So explain how it works.
Okay, so Doc is just simply the American word for a jetty. So if it was made in Australia, it would be probably called jetty jumpers. But the Americans came up with it 25 years ago. So you've got a jetty, and dog runs along it, jumps into the 100,000 litre pool, and we measure how far they jump. That's the basic one of it, but there's now a whole sport. Like, it's an Olympic sport all in one thing.
Yeah.
For dogs. They go upwards, that's extreme vertical, there's lasers and there's traffic lights down there, and kind of like drag racing for dogs where they've got to be released, they run, they jump, they fly, they swim, and then they grab a bumper at the end. So it's a complex, lots and lots of divisions of sports inside a massive stage and a massive pool, and it's just fun. Like, it's just fun.
Oh, it was so much fun watching it.
Yeah. And you were my judge.
I know, I came along to judge.
With your pinhole vision, you're like, you kept missing each of the dogs. But anyway, the audience absolutely loved it. And the crowd's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous how many people love, like, the competitors. We had well over 120 competitors jumping their dogs. So it's a real sport that people enter. But, you know, we had 1,000 people there. I think most of them were there for you. But this is the crack up of it. But yeah, it is really hard to focus on where the dog lands because you've got to look for not the tip of the nose or the tip of the tail,
I know,
but
I got
it's
confused
the
when you were
butthole.
trying to explain.
It's when the butthole enters. I couldn't say it's the butthole, but it's where the tail meets the body of the dog, meets the surface of the water. As that enters the water is where you give them their distance from the edge of the dock. So I've been doing it worldwide since 2009 because the first time I saw it was at Olympic Park in Sydney when the World Dog Games came to Australia. And that's kind of when I got my big start in the city as a dog expert, you know, because I spent my whole life training teams and teams of dogs, breeding working dogs out on the station. And Tara King actually was like, I've got to get you into the dog world in the city because your knowledge is phenomenal and people need to hear it. And I'm like, well, what do I know? She said, everything that you've learned from all the old timers, the drovers, you've got to bring that knowledge to the city. And so I was one of the experts at the World Dog Games. And then I also did this segment there about hero dogs, dogs that have saved people's lives and changed people's lives.
Yeah, there was a dog, Jetta?
Jetta, yeah.
Jetta.
So she was jumping on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like from Border Force, she'd served Australia and she still wants to do fun things. So she was jumping. So all of these stories are continued from 2009 to now, and it's just constantly weaving in the idea that dogs are amazing and we can have fun with them, we can compete with them, but everyone just loves seeing dogs have fun.
Yeah.
And I do it everywhere. Haven't taken it to Tassie yet.
Oh, well, they've just got a new ship, the Spirit of Tasmania ship, where the dogs are no longer underneath the ship.
Because I've taken teams of dogs across for another thing that I do, which is the Canine Super Wall, where they just jump up the wall. But I've taken a team of dogs and a team of kids across to Tassie to do that. Yeah.
So you can
and all the dogs had to
now
go down in the hole.
Yeah, but now they can be in the bedroom with you.
Which is so
How
good.
good's that?
Yeah.
So maybe you need to get your butt down to Tassie.
Yeah, now, because now the competitors would go, because that's the reason why I only took the rough track kids with me and did the Super Bowl down there, because 90% of
Oh, that's right,
competitors...
because that's right. You went down, and that's when you went to the fish and chip shop.
Yes, your old fish and chip shop.
You
And,
went
and
to
I
the-
hung out with Anita, your sister.
My sister.
She was like the most amazing guide for the kids because she lived through Port Arthur Massacre.
Yeah.
And so she was able to tell from a teenager, she was a teenager when it happened.
Yeah, when it
And she was
happened.
above at the cafe looking down at the horrors that were happening. And to have that connection of your sister explaining to all the kids how horrific, but it was in real time. And she saw it and she had to protect me because she was working there and people were looking to her for safety and guidance and all that responsibility. And she was so raw with all of my rough track kids and I had 12 kids there and they've been through some tough times, but for them to have the reality check of maybe my life's not so bad if I'm talking to your sister who had experienced that horror, but also it allowed them to understand this is what bottling your anger inside, which, you know, that man that did that had bottled so much inside that he had to explode and had to put all that pain and that hurt on him that he was holding himself onto others.
Onto others, yeah.
And so it was a great way to really talk to the kids and go, if you hold this hurt, it's got to come out.
It's effective.
Like we stayed with her, we ended up going up to the pub above it and we had dinner with her because I could see that it had brought up so much for her and we thought we've got to do a circle, yarning circle for her, around her. And all the kids gave so much thanks to her because you could see that she hasn't worked through that.
No. Gosh, so with the rough track kids, what's happening there now? They're moving on into other
so I
onto other
suppose,
things?
Like I obviously built it before we went on Big Brother together. So back in 2019 I started it and it was a concept from the bush to empower young people, but through giving them tools. So giving them tools in their toolkit that is not a hammer, because the kids that we work with, they've got a knife and they've got a hammer in their hand. And that's how they get through life, because that's the only thing that works. I bash things or I stab things, because that's how I get seen and that's how I feel safe, because they feel so unsafe. So the idea of Rough Track is to give them a safe place. They feel a sense of belonging, they feel independence within that belonging, but they get mastery of tools, they get mastery of trades, and then they can go out into the world and be generous with the skills that we've given them. And that was the whole circle of courage that we built around it. And it takes a crazy person like me that has had an insane life to be able to give all that skills to be one person they can look to. And so yeah, I've left that, and I suppose I've got to work through taking on a lot of those kids' traumas. 154 kids I had through.
Wow.
From 11 through to 18.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of kids with a lot of hurt and a lot of pain.
Yeah. And you would take that on yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Teenagers are not easy in the first place, but teenagers that have been kicked out of home and kicked out of schools, and then the only safe place they've ever had is a prison cell.
Yeah.
They're damaged kids, but they were all amazing kids. They just hadn't had someone that says, I've got you, young fella. Let's go over this direction and let's have that energy or that hurt or whatever's going inside, and we can direct it into a place that's going to work. And the key to it was dogs. That was the key.
The dogs, yeah, helping them.
They all got a dog. And so, yeah, it was amazing. It was brilliant. It was nearly 5 years of my life.
Yep. So, Dave, who are you still in contact with from Big Brother?
Well, Tim, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, I was meant to see Trevor up here, but I think he's still bitter with me for me nominating. Remember when Tim made... Yeah. I didn't vote for him, though. Every other bugger voted for poor old Trev.
No.
But anyway, I tried to meet up with him this week, but...
he's probably looked at the message has gone, fuck you.
No. He said he was working one day and the next day is Father's Day stuff and... But yeah, maybe he's still bitter. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, no, that's...
But you know, he wouldn't have got that gig on Hot Tomato.
No, if you didn't get rid of him.
If he didn't go out. So that's like the universe just coming in and rescuing him.
he should be thanking you.
He should be, exactly.
He should be coming to you, kissing
He got out of the ute and into the studio. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. So...
When's your thing going to happen, Reg?
My thing?
Where the universe just says,
oh,
here, babes.
It's coming. Maybe this is it. Maybe is this my calling? I don't know what my calling is in life, Dave. It's really bizarre, you know, like because everyone loves Reggie.
Everyone loves Reggie.
But
you bring so much joy just by existing.
Just, you know.
But existing, you also need to be fed.
Yeah, yeah.
And feed your kids.
Not happening. Oh, it's frustrating.
The merchandise, the speaking. Because you spoke at Rough Track event and raised some great money at a ladies' lunch.
Yes, yeah,
so
that was good.
You're a great speaker.
So maybe that's my calling, speaker's circuit. So Dave, do you have any questions for me?
When are we going to go on a road trip, babes?
Yes.
Can you imagine us going on a road trip, cameras everywhere? So it would just be like experiencing the Big Brother house.
Let's do it. When you're not busy.
I'm not busy. I'm just constantly on the bloody road, but I'd love to have someone who I can just yarn with.
Maybe I should.
Come on one of our trips.
Yeah, come on one of your trips. Maybe
Imagine that. Me and an old blind Sheila building a pool together.
I should come on one of your carnival adventures.
We can just be roadside carnies.
Yeah. All right.
You've got too many teeth to be a carnie.
Oh, don't worry, they're about to come. They're stuffed at the moment. They're infected. Next time you see me, I'm going to have no teeth again.
You would look the part then.
I will.
Go on the show circuit.
Oh, my God.
And then you can have, I've got it, show circuit, you've got your merch. You can do a bit of yarning, talk to the ladies at the show society, I don't know, the CWA lady or something, and then have your own fish and chip truck.
Oh.
Everyone who goes to the show would line up for hours
That's a good
for
idea.
Reggie's F&C's.
Should come on the road with you. So before we go, Dave, thank you again for coming on Reggie's F&C's, but can we get a selfie?
Too right, we can get a selfie. I'm coming to you.
You coming to me?
Yeah.
Right, let's do this. There
we go, we're in.
We're in. Ready? Yay!
Geez, we've done some selfies together. I love you, Reg.
I love you. Thank you for coming on.